Yeah.
Yeah, we should expand, spread the gospel of Pan-Africanism. Yes.
Yeah, that's so true. And have you ever been to the African Union or
African Union? No, but I have never been there. But I want to get invited to the African Union one time.
One time.
And I have only 2 questions to ask.
Oh, please do tell. Well, like if you are to go there, what will you tell them, or what will their questions be that you want to ask them?
The first question is the question that I never forget. Like, what do you think about African unity? I must ask that question to all leaders sitting in the summit. And the second question is, like, to the members that have been sitting there long ago, not the new members, that what have you been doing for so long that some African countries are still fighting each other?
That is so true. And what type of answers are you expecting?
Why do you need a passport to go to those countries from Uganda to Kenya? Only a national identity card is needed. Let it be from east to south and western countries of Africa.
Okay.
And even the northern. Why do you need a passport to go to those countries? Why not an ID card? Because I don't see any other information that's more important. Because all have the same information.
Okay.
I don't see any extra information which does not exist on a passport and does not exist on the identity card.
You have the same information?
They have the same information.
Okay.
Yes. If not, advise accordingly.
Africans are now beginning to realize, Africans of goodwill, that we were shortchanged, that we got the short hand of the stick, that we got the crown without the jewels, that we got an animal that had been disemboweled. And that is the stage at which Africa finds herself, the neo-colonial stage, which is the last stage of imperialism and the most dangerous, because the enslaver turned colonizer turned neo-colonizer now recognizes that the game is up and that their goose is about to be cooked, and they are not just about to leave, they are going to leave wailing and kicking.
Imagine, Wakili, I would not let you leave this place without, I want you to inject the African Union.
You know,
how can the West be defending Tanzania?
In the region,
and African
I'll
Union
say
is
first
quiet.
this. SADC took a good position.
Yes.
The SADC observers were very clear. There are no elections in Tanzania.
Absolutely.
The AU Observer Mission took a very clear position. There were no elections in Tanzania.
Yes.
Whatever happened didn't meet the thresholds of the AU Charter on elections. But there's somebody sitting in
the chairman.
Addis Ababa. That one with
the chairman congratulated Samia Suluhu before
and
the report was out.
And has not even commented on the issues, the atrocities being committed against the people of Tanzania. Who does it represent? That man is as cursed to the continent. Because you cannot be saying that I'm the chairman of the commission, you are there to represent Africans, but when fellow Africans are being killed by a rogue regime that has taken over their sovereignty, you are responsible to congratulate that regime and not speak on the atrocities. You are now following Tanzania more on the EU Parliament than we are following at the AU. Where is the Pan-African Parliament to talk about this?
Imagine.
This brotherhood nonsense that legacy politicians have put upon themselves to undermine the people of the continent must come to an end. And it's not surprising now if you notice, for example, the many coups that are happening in the coup belt in Africa.
Guinea-Bissau,
and
I think
people
it was
are
yesterday.
cheering. The residents of Africa, the citizens of Africa are cheering the coup plotters. Why? Because they've lost faith in the legacy politicians and the institutions of governance that they've set up to oversee how their self-actualization is realized. So maybe that becomes now an attractive alternative, whereas we hope that we should always be within the parameters of the law, and you have elections to be the avenue through which sovereignty is donated, not guns. But there's no difference now, if you ask me, between what Samia Suluhu is doing in Tanzania and a military junta forcefully taking over. So if you are going to condemn the military that has taken over in Guinea-Bissau,
You also equally condemn.
you must condemn Samia Suluhu and say,
And meanwhile,
Samia Suluhu,
yes,
you are now called Idi Amin Mama, junta leader. You are junta. And we are suspending you from the AU.
Yeah. Because these other countries have been suspended from the AU.
Yes. So why is Tanzania still a member of the AU?
Imagine.
They should put pressure on Tanzania and say, no,
And
you are
first
not
of
welcome
all,
to the AU.
the AU should realize they represent Africa.
In fact, not Africa. They represent Africans.
Africans.
The people of the continent.
Exactly.
Not people who are occupying those offices.
Exactly. So if a Tanzanian dies, it is
That
in your best
business.
interest to address.
Yes. And here you are talking of
That a
not
Kenyan, a
less than
Tanzanian.
5,000 Tanzanians. Not dying out of a natural catastrophe.
Honestly, they have lost
dying
credibility.
in the hands of weapons, guns that can be traced. And AU is sitting quiet. In fact, it will get to a point where that institution, the African people should say, you don't represent us. Even if they come to participate in affairs in your countries, they should be chased.
Yeah.
Because they cannot be cheering atrocities.
They cannot.
And turning a blind eye to the plight of the African man.
And now, Samia Suluhu and her administration, that of course it's an illegal administration.
A junta.
Junta.
There's a junta.
Okay.
The junta in Tanzania.
These are your words.
The junta in
Mr. Fendi
Tanzania.
Subaru.
I am saying it here. The junta in Tanzania.
Junta in Tanzania.
Yes.
I've said it.
Yes.
Okay. Am I off the hook?
Yes, you're off the
Now, there lived a great leader by the name Kwame Nkrumah in African continent, in the country of Ghana. He was not only focused on leadership in his country, but he was only focused on the awakening of African continent, the unity of the black people across the world, and making Africa great as how it was before the stepping of the colonizers, of all the missionaries who came here and destroyed everything, exploited African continent, unalived African leaders, and captured Africa, put their control over the African continent. During his reign, he was all time asking and discussing to the African leaders about the unity, about the abolish of borders, about making African continent as one Africa, living under one currency, backed by gold, living under one army, living under one president, which would have helped for the African continent, African issues to be discussed under one government and solve the problem and the crisis that may come to affect Africa just as Africa, but not as African countries. You know, the people who sat down in a Berlin conference, they sat down with a plan of scatter and splitting Africa into pieces, so that it can be able and easily for them to come and control Africa. Because if after they have splitted Africa and made Africans to believe that we are different people from Ghana, people from Nigeria are not the same. People from Kenya are not the same with the people from Uganda. We are not the same from the people from South Africa. So that was a great agenda for them and a great mission for them, which made them to achieve their own vision easily. Their mission was well done easily.
I don't blame the African leaders and chiefs,
Okay.
but the Berlin conference made everything.
Made everything worse.
Yes,
Whom to blame now? Exactly.
the people who chaired the Berlin conference.
And during his time, he always come out to address these issues to the African leaders, but they never listened to him. They never agreed to him. He always speak about, let us unite Africa. We either unite Africa or we will perish.
Something that is lacking is the how part. What is it that Africa Union must do? We need a bank, we need an army, we need education. If we, for example, just remove the borders only, I did a research the other day, $3 billion will start running from border to border on the African continent for free, just by doing policy change. I'm not saying
not removing the borders, but
don't
changing
remove
the policies for free trade.
Just allow Africans to move goods. Those who want pounded yam from Uganda, The Ugandans here can simply make a call to Uganda and say, hey,
Buy it, sell it, let's
bring pounded yam, and the truck can drive with pounded yam.
Yeah.
And those who want fufu from Nigeria, fly it in. We can eat our fufu here. And those who want stuff from South Africa, just by opening borders only, without killing passports, just open the trade between borders. But all these tariffs, and by the way, this is what annoys me, Panuel. This is what annoys me, ticks me off. That we have politicians who get into power, but they don't understand the monster called the government and colonial policies that run the government, which includes immigration, business, ownership. Right now,
but the African leaders fight against him. They rejected his visions. They rejected his agendas. And after that long, many years have passed. But now when you listen to in any time to the speeches that are being made in African Union, whenever they have their own summit, they are all speaking about the rejected vision of Kwame Nkrumah after all that long time. What does this mean? This means that African leaders who lived those days, they never knew the meaning of the Africa's unity. They never knew the importance of the unity. Because of unity, that's when the Europeans or the former colonizers easily came to control and capture Africa. Because African leaders never agreed in one agenda. They never agreed in border issues, but everyone has his own interest to work on his own countries and his own people, but they never care about other people. And they forgot to know that we are one. We are Africans. We came from one skeleton, scattered with different pieces of muscles. So today, the African leaders cannot come out to address these issues because they failed Kwame Nkrumah's vision. They failed to even accomplish his agendas even after his death. Now, what's happening today is that the African youths are doing it. The African youths are doing it, and we have seen how African youths are working towards that agenda, and they are addressing it every day. Whenever you see Ibrahim Traore speaking, he is always speaking about the Africa's unity. He is always fighting against towards the African unity, African independence, and African freedom. He is always fighting about the liberation of African continent, but not Burkina Faso, not Nigeria, not Kenya, but African continent. And now I have presented you the videos of young kid from Uganda, Mr. President Emmanuel Accord, who is only 11 years. But what he's speaking about, I can say that this is the reincarnation of Kwame Nkrumah, because I believe that Nkrumah's vision was left hanging. And now he has decided to come back through someone else to achieve his agenda of Africa's unity. Now, if you listen to the speeches of this kid, you know, even the people from the universities are not having that kind of knowledge. They are not able to come out and address these issues. They don't have that courage to come and speak these great agendas that this kid is speaking about. That's why I called this the return of Nkrumah. So, welcome back, family. This is the Black History, where we uncover the truth that your media cannot expose to you. We've been always working hard to make sure that we achieve the great agenda of Nkrumah's vision of unity of Africa, because I believe that through unity we are strong. And the people who came to colonize and split this great continent, they believed in separate, conquer, and rule. And through that, they achieved their agenda and their mission. So, what is going to happen here? For so long, people like Julius Malema, they have been always coming out to speak to Africans that we have the agenda, we have the appointment with the future, that one day Africa must be united. And Africa's unity cannot just come by speaking. African unity cannot just come through individual, but Africa's unity can only come through the African unity through the Africans coming together, discussing one agenda, fighting against the border issues, fighting against the tribalism, fighting against the religions, and through this we can be able to achieve this great agenda. Professor Pierre Lumumba has been always coming out to say that we have a lot to fight for. We have a lot to work for. We are today speaking about the unity, but we are having a lot that today is still limiting us not to achieve this great agenda. Because at this time, we are still focused on border issues as Africans. At this time, we are still not having our own internet. We are still not having our own highways which connects from one country to another without border restrictions. So we have first to need to deal with these small issues that we feel like maybe it's petty issues. But these are the great issues that are making Africans not to discuss one agenda of Africa's unity. But we have seen some people coming out. We have seen some people like Julius Malema, like Ibrahim Traore and Sahel leaders. They're coming out boldly and they have fight against the imperialists, they have fight against the corruption, they have fight against the tribalism, and now a great change is being experienced from the leaders who have come out and tried to show us that if we can do it, if we want. We have the great Dumaboko, the Botswanan president. We have the Namibian president, Dr. Nendu Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah. We are having the Sahel leaders. We are having the Professor Pierre Lumumba. We are having many African youths who are coming out to make sure that we fight together, because this is not the agenda of this is not the agenda of maybe saying that we are leaving this to someone so that he can fight for us and achieve this. But this will only happen if we can come together. That's why I played your videos of this great young kid, to show you that if this kind of person can do this, what is about you? What is limiting you? What's that's making you not to be able to do this? Because if this kid, we cannot tell that maybe he get all this knowledge from school, because he's still under the lower classes of education, whereby at his level he has not reached to that position, to that level of being taught what he is speaking about. But this is something that I believe that is just a godsend. This is just a genius, the kid that was born with visions of leadership. If it's true that leadership comes from God, then I pray that one day the great agenda of Africa's unity be achieved through this kid, because whenever you see him speaking, he always speaks and worries about the African problem, Africans' exploitation, and Africa destruction. So just tell me throughout the comment section, do you believe that Africa can unite? Let me have your views in the comment section. Maybe Bless watching from this is the Black History. I love and appreciate you for you tuning in. Continue subscribing, sharing, and leave a comment so that I can continue connecting on the next episode. And maybe Bless watching from. I love and appreciate you, and be blessed.